What if humans never needed sleep? For 1/3 of our lives, we disappear. Every night, consciousness fades, control slips away, and the world continues without us. But what if that never happened? What if humans never needed sleep? Welcome to Information World. Sleep feels so natural that we rarely question it. We accept exhaustion, dreams, insomnia, alarms, and groggy mornings as part of being human. Yet sleep is one of the strangest biological behaviors we know. We voluntarily shut down our awareness every single day. We lie still, eyes closed, muscles relaxed, vulnerable to danger, for no obvious immediate reward. From an evolutionary point of view, this is bizarre. So today, let's imagine a radical alternative reality. A world where the human brain never needs rest. No sleep. No dreams. No fatigue. No bedtime. No waking up. What would that do to our bodies, our minds, our societies, our technology, and even our sense of meaning? To understand that future, we first need to understand why sleep exists at all. Sleep is not just rest. It is not simply turning off. When we sleep, the brain becomes extremely active in specific ways. Neurons fire in complex patterns. Memories are replayed. Emotions are processed. Toxins are flushed out of brain tissue. Hormones are regulated. The immune system recalibrates. Growth and repair accelerate. In fact, the brain uses more energy during certain sleep stages than during waking hours. Sleep is maintenance. Without it, the human brain begins to fail rapidly. After 24 hours awake, attention drops. After 48 hours, hallucinations appear. After several days, cognition collapses. Long-term sleep deprivation leads to psychosis, organ failure, and death. So now imagine a different kind of human. A human whose brain evolved a way to perform all of those functions without shutting down consciousness. A brain that cleans itself while awake. Repairs itself continuously. Consolidates memories in real time. Regulates emotion instantly. A brain that never needs to disconnect. The first and most obvious change would be time. Humans currently live about 75 to 80 years, but we sleep for roughly 25 of those years. If sleep vanished, we would suddenly gain decades of conscious life without extending lifespan at all. Every human would experience the world for 33% longer. This wouldn't just feel like more time. It would completely reshape how life is structured. Childhood, education, careers, relationships, and aging would all stretch outward. A 30-year-old in this world would have the lived experience of a 40-year-old today. The concept of running out of time would feel very different. Daily life would also transform instantly. There would be no night as a biological boundary. Darkness would still exist, but it would lose its meaning. Cities would never truly sleep. Work, creativity, entertainment, and social interaction would flow continuously. The idea of a day would become psychological rather than biological. But this raises a deeper question: would humans still need breaks? Even if the brain never needed sleep, consciousness itself might still require pauses. Attention, meaning, and motivation are not infinite resources. If humans were awake forever, boredom might become one of the greatest psychological threats. When everything is available all the time, urgency disappears. In this world, humans might create artificial cycles, scheduled shutdowns, meditation hours, or cultural rest windows designed not for the body, but for the mind's sense of rhythm. Sleep might disappear biologically but survive culturally. Now let's talk about memory. Sleep plays a critical role in memory consolidation. During deep sleep, the brain transfers short-term memories into long-term storage. During dreaming, emotional memories are integrated and softened. If humans never slept, memory processing would need to happen instantly. Every experience would be processed in real time. This could make humans far more intelligent but also far more burdened. Imagine remembering everything vividly. No fading. No emotional softening. Trauma would remain sharp. Regret would not dull. Loss might never heal. Sleep helps us forget. Without it, humans might need new psychological mechanisms to survive their own memories. Memory editing could become a technology. Emotional filtering might evolve naturally. Or humanity could become emotionally colder, simply to cope. Dreams would vanish entirely. Dreams are not just entertainment. They are simulations. The brain uses them to test scenarios, resolve fears, and explore impossible worlds. Without dreams, creativity might change fundamentally. Would art become more logical? Less surreal? Or would waking imagination expand to replace dreaming? Perhaps humans would learn to daydream with the intensity of dreams, blurring the line between imagination and reality while fully awake. Now consider health. Sleep regulates hormones like cortisol, melatonin, growth hormone, and insulin. Without sleep, these systems would need permanent stability. Humans might become physically superior, faster healing, stronger immunity, slower aging. Or the opposite could happen. Continuous activity could lead to chronic stress unless evolution redesigned emotional regulation from the ground up. Anxiety, anger, and desire would need instant resolution mechanisms. Otherwise, humanity would burn itself out emotionally even if the body remained functional. Evolutionarily, a sleepless human would be extremely powerful. Predators could never catch them off guard. Disasters would be noticed instantly. Reaction times would improve. Civilization could operate with constant vigilance. War, however, would become terrifying. Armies that never sleep would never pause. Conflicts could escalate without natural breaks. Psychological warfare would intensify because exhaustion would no longer protect civilians from continuous stress. In response, humanity might develop ethical limits on continuous activity. Laws could restrict how long someone is allowed to work, fight, or even think about certain things. Sleep currently protects us from ourselves. Without it, society would need new safeguards. Technology would accelerate dramatically. Imagine researchers, engineers, and programmers working continuously not because they are forced to, but because they can. Scientific discovery would speed up. Space exploration would expand faster. AI development would intensify. But creativity might paradoxically suffer. Many breakthroughs come from rest, silence, and subconscious processing. Without sleep, humanity might become hyper-efficient but less inspired. Progress would be faster but possibly narrower. To compensate, humans might engineer artificial altered states, controlled hallucinations, simulated dreams, or neural offline modes to generate insight. At that point, sleep would return, not as biology, but as software. Relationships would also change deeply. Currently, nights separate us. Couples sleep. Families rest. Loneliness often arrives at night. In a sleepless world, connection would become constant but so would conflict. There would be fewer natural pauses to cool down arguments or let emotions settle. Breakups might be harsher. Love might burn brighter but shorter. Privacy would become rare. Darkness used to hide us. Sleep used to protect us. Without either, humans might feel permanently exposed. This could lead to a stronger inner world or complete emotional numbness. Religion and philosophy would be shaken. Sleep has always been linked to death. Falling asleep is one of our oldest metaphors for dying. Dreams have been seen as divine messages, soul journeys, or glimpses of other realms. If humans never slept, death would feel more abrupt. There would be no daily rehearsal of disappearance. Consciousness would flow continuously until it suddenly stopped. This might make death more terrifying or more sacred. Some might believe sleeplessness brings humans closer to gods. Others might feel it removes a spiritual dimension entirely. The question of meaning would intensify. When you never stop being conscious, distraction becomes dangerous. People might face their own thoughts more often. Existential questions could no longer be avoided by sleep. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing with this endless awareness? In that sense, sleep might be a mercy. Without it, humanity would be forced into philosophical maturity or collapse. Over generations, culture would adapt. Architecture would change. Homes would be designed for constant activity. Lighting would evolve. Education would become continuous. Childhood would last longer psychologically. Languages might develop fewer metaphors related to night, dreams, and rest. Entire mythologies would vanish. Yet something important might be lost. Sleep is one of the last moments where humans surrender control. Where the ego dissolves. Where the mind admits it cannot function endlessly. A sleepless humanity might become more powerful but also more rigid. Less humble. Less forgiving. Less capable of letting go. And perhaps that's the deepest insight. Sleep reminds us that we are not machines. That consciousness has limits. That rest is not weakness, but balance. So if humans never needed sleep, we might gain time, productivity, and power, but we might lose mystery, softness, and the quiet spaces where meaning grows. And the question becomes, would we truly be more alive? Or just awake longer? If this kind of deep exploration fascinates you, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps information world grow, and it lets me bring you more thought-provoking journeys like this one.